Hello and welcome to another ARCHLineXP 2021 webinar. My name is Zoltán Tóth and we are going to talk about today the new and upcoming exciting features of ARCHLineXP, the design software. But before we begin, this is actually the third part of our webinar series detailing the new and exciting features. Let's talk about what you missed or what you have seen in the previous shows. If you missed any of the things that I'm talking about, make sure you go to the website and there you can take a look at the shows that we had in the past. So, just a few highlights about what ARCHLineXP 2021 has to offer. Real-time elevations and sections. Also wall views, automated dimensions of cabinets, linked symbols. We also have rule-based filters and we also implemented the IFC classification codes. Also, we talked about how to link external references like IFC, DWG, RVT file formats. We discuss also LOD, level of details or level of development, depending on how you want to call it, and how you can use them in ARCHLine. We discussed the improved print queue and how to add isolation and insulation to beams and columns. And also there's a very interesting feature, depth range for objects in elevations that you're generating. Now, today, what my colleague Illich is going to show you is a couple of new things, including conceptual push-pull models. So if you want to use ARCHLine for very simple design tools, then this is the tool set that you can use for it. Also, building volumes and mass volumes. So how to draft environment very quickly and how to do it in an advanced way. And also shared categories, and another exciting thing for developers is JavaScript plugins. So lots of interesting stuff going on. So I'm going to give the word over to Illich to talk about the new things. If you have any questions, as always, you can ask them in the right hand side and I'll be here to answer them. And now over to Illich and let's see what he has to offer.
A good example of using the Pushpull tool is when you would like to detail the surrounding and you would like to either add new objects to an existing slab or a building part or something like that, or when you would like to completely model something new. Now, in this case, I would like to use the 3D shape and the Pushpull tool to create a bench, which will be a combination of concrete and wood. And for that reason, I will first start placing a block to create one side of the bench, and then the wooden part, and then the other side of the bench. So I will just go and use this create shape by block, this one, and then I will define the size of the block. This size of the block will be something like 200 millimeters by 450, and the height should be 400 millimeters or so, and this will be the basic block that I'm starting to work with. And when I hit OK and I place it on the drawing, all I need to do is just to change it, change its material to have something like a concrete or so, and then I just search for it here, and I will find one that I have previously tested, and I think this will work fine with this one, and I will just replace it on this object. So this is what I start with. And then now the good thing with the Pushpull is that whatever you draw on a surface, whichever projection, whichever side of that object should be, you can use it for the base operations of the Pushpull. So what I will do, I will just go and use the polyline tool for the sake of its flexibility and simplicity. And then I just select the surface, and then I start drafting that shape from the bottom edge of this block that I've previously designed. So I click here and I try to find the edge someplace around here, and then I will add an arc and I will try to find some edge at the top, and then I will just bend it nicely to have a smooth result, something like this. And then I click here and then I set up this vertical part, which should be around something like 60 millimeters. That's where the wooden part will connect to. And then I just move the mouse horizontally and try to snap it with this other endpoint here. So this is where I ended up with the other point. And then I would like to place a curve here. So I will just move my mouse someplace around here and try to bend this part nicely, something similar to this. And then I will just find the bottom point, and that's it. I actually created this shape. Now I will use this shape as a basis for my operations. So I will just use the Pushpull and I will click on the surface. And as you see, you can actually use it for partial push pulls, you can just make a partial section like this to carve this into this concrete, or you can just completely make it longer, and then this push pull will actually drill it through. So if I just undo this and then do it in one single step, I can just drill it through. I can just chop this part off, and then I will do the same thing with this one, and I will do the same thing with this tiny part. So if it's longer than the body, then it will actually chop it off like that. Now I'm satisfied with this result, and what I'm willing to do is to create another shape here, which will be based on this 3D shape tool. So I will just simply again go with the shape by block, and then I will design something similar to the previous one. So this should be, the width should be around like 680 millimeters. The depth should be, I believe it was 450 millimeters. And the height should be 60 millimeters. And so this is what I wanted to create. And before I go on, I would like to also change this wooden material to something else. And then I go to the libraries here, and I'm going to find something nice in the wood library here. And let's just go with the softwoods, for example, and try to find either this one. Let's just go and see whether this works. I think this is nice, but you can go around and try to find another one. So this is how you can easily find a new material and then create one wooden block, or several wooden blocks also if you would like to, and then you can just place it someplace on your drawing. But now, well, actually I would like to align these two together. So I will, what I do, I just select this corner point, and then I say I just would like to move this, and I would like to snap it to the previously created object like that. And so this is it. This is how you can end up with a half bench like this, and then the rest can be either modeled like this, or I also show you something, because if you would like to continuously reuse this thing, you can also save it as a part that can be reused either for this purpose here, or for new benches. So what you can do in that case, something that has been modeled like this, you can either keep it or you can save it into the libraries, going into interior, single object, and create a new object. This will be this one single concrete bench part, or something like that. And then it will go to my category, into the bench parts category that I've created previously. And I hit OK. And so now I have an object which is reset to the 0 now when it was created. But I just click on the bottom and I just snap it back to the ground, something like this. And then now I have this object. I just either make a copy and rotate it here, or I can just go back to the 2D, show it on the floor plan, and then just use a mirror or a mirror copy. Now in case of mirroring a copy, I will keep this part and I will use a vertical axis, finding the half division points of this edge and drawing a vertical axis. And then the software created the second half. So now when I go back here, now I can see this nicely designed concrete and wooden bench created from 3 different parts. And now if I would like to, I can still select those and I can save them as one single bench, and I still have the option to use the parts that I have partially created with the Pushpull tool and with the combination of a single block. So this is how easily you can use the Pushpull tool to create something like this. Let's see what you can do with the Pushpull tool if you apply it on a wall surface, or actually any sort of similar architectural part. The Pushpull allows you to find edges and surfaces on a wall surface, for example, and then either partially push it or use it as a drill tool or make extensions to the surface. Now what you have here is a very simple wall. It's like 300 millimeter wide or so. And then it is just created with the simple wall tool. Now the extra thing that I did, actually I used the line and the polyline tool to draw a pattern on it, and then I will use these contours to demonstrate the Pushpull tool. So now the first thing that you can do with that is that actually you can just click on this Pushpull tool and highlight any of those areas that you have created, and then you can just decide the depth of that push pull, and if it's like, for example, 150 millimeters, which is the half of the width of this wall, then it will be just like a partial cut off or a pushed body part. And if you click on the top, for example, and you use it as a completely longer push like this, then it will actually chop that off, but still keeping the previous one in place. And then you can decide to, I don't know, make this one a little bit larger, like, I don't know, like 50 millimeter coming to the front. And then I will apply the same push pull to the half division point here. And then I will just turn this and this and this into holes, like just click in here and drilling it through, click in here, drilling it through, and click in here and drilling it through. And then the very good thing with this one is that actually once you have something like this, this is part of the wall. So what I have now is kind of a parametric extension of this wall. So whenever I change, for example, the height of this wall, because I would like to make it a little bit smaller or higher or something like that. See, the complete thing was kept, only the top was chopped off because I made the wall actually smaller than the original was. But if I make it a little bit higher, and then because I modeled this part to be chopped off, the rest will be created again because it is above the contour that I have defined. So it will be kept with the wall, and if the same happens if you make the wall a little bit smaller, shorter or longer. So let me just try to change this to 2800 or something like that. In that case, the rest of the model here will be chopped off. And I can do the same thing here. Let's just make it to 2600 from the left hand side. And then see, now I still see those edges, but those are the lines that I've created, but the rest of the model was kept. So this is parametrically stored with the wall, which is a great advantage. Later you can just again use the Pushpull tool or go into the details and change the settings of this geometry that you have created. And then if you remove those extra lines that you have added, then you will end up with a nice concrete sculpture or something like that. And similar to this, you can also create holes in walls or niches or something like that. So similar to this, what I've used here with this exterior example, you can use it also on interior wall surfaces or building facades and elevations. In this following example, I would like to show you how to use the Pushpull tool in case of a very typical architectural scenario. And this, in my case, will be this building part with this specific wall. And I would like to turn this into a very typical firewall, which follows the top edge of the roof with an offset. So being able to represent that, I'm going to zoom into this part. And I would like to first change the edges of this roof. So I click on this one, click on the roof, and I use offset and I pull it back towards that edge around 0.8 meters. And I would like to do the same thing with the other edge. Just do the same thing, 0.8 meters or so. And then I would like to change the height of this wall, and this will be 5.6 meters. And that's it. This is what I wanted to do with this wall. Now on this wall, now I will have a very good solution to this. There are other solutions, just to talk about those. But now I would like to show you how to make an edge offset with this roof and just kind of simply cut and push this part into itself, so it will cut off the top of this wall. So for doing that, I'm just using the polyline tool with this one. I will select this wall surface, and this is where actually I would like to create my polyline. And then I'm going to use the bottom edge of this roof first. This will be the first point here around this endpoint. Then I will use the top edge, which is around here. And then I will use the bottom edge, which is around over this spot here. So now that I have this polyline, I can just hit escape because I finished drawing it. And to be able to see it much better, I will just right click on this roof shape, and you will use the hide this object tool to isolate it, and then now I can see this edge that I've created. And my goal now is to make an offset with this. So for that, all I need to do is to select this this polyline, which is in my selection list. And when I click on this edge, I can use the offset all. And with this one, I can make a change of its position either below of this line or above this line, and I can use a value. Now in this case, I will use a value of 0.3 meters, like that. And then this will be the new position. And then I will also use the Pushpull tool now above this area, somewhere around here. And then I will just pull it back towards that direction. And then when it's long enough, then I just click once, and then it will make it disappear. Now to get back to the original roof where it is still visible, I will end the isolation. I just click on End Object Isolation. So now the roof will reappear. And then this typical firewall also appears as it should be. And then if I want, I can erase this polyline from the edges of this wall. So this is one solution, very quick and intuitive solution of creating a firewall. Let's see what we can do with building masses. The tool that I'm going to use today is under building, and right here in masses. Now let's first see what this tool can do. So for that, I'm going to go back to the 2D of this drawing, and as you can see, it's surrounding with quite a few building lots, and those rectangles here and those shapes are all top views of future buildings. But now I don't want to model them completely, at least not the interior part, but I would like to create building shapes first, and then I would like to show you what else you can do with building shapes. So let's just go back to the 2D, and first I would like to focus on smaller buildings that are actually appearing here. And those building parts are something that I would like to create based on these rectangles that we have here on the drawing now. Now I will use the masses tool and the conceptual building model, and this allows you to track something on your drawing like this one, or actually you can also freely draw anything with known values. But I'm just tracking this rectangle, and when I hit enter, the building with this tool, it allows you to set up building rules like the top, the maximum height of the building, the pitch of the roof, and the horizontal elevation, the vertical elevation size here. Now these here are actually the same that the default settings, as you can see here. So it's B number, the value B is 8 here, and the value E, the top height, is 12. That's the maximum height. And actually I also have something called the pitch of this roof, and this should be 70 degrees. And note that this is measured from the vertical, so from horizontal it will be 30 degrees. So I just use this value, and I click on for all sides, and now I have this nice shape like this here. Now also with this tool you can easily create something like, for example, if you click on this side of the building, this building volume shape, then when you click here and use the 0 value here with the number with this value 8 or A, then you can just click on update, and then you will have an ending like this. And also the same thing, you can go around and repeat with the other sides as well. So now I'm just going to hit OK. So I will have this shape here. Let me just rotate the model a bit around so I can see this nice building shape. I can change the material, but now I prefer this one because I can see the volume appearing there, but it's not too direct, not too strong. So I'm happy with this result. And I actually would like to create 6 more copies of this building. So I just select it, and I click on this one and click on multiply. I would like to see 6 more copies, altogether 7. And then I click on this edge, and I will create the rest of these models with a simple click. So this is it. I actually have those, and just as a quick reminder, you can do the same thing with the larger shapes as well, and also using half roofs as well. So let me just do that here. So for example, if you just use the same tool with different values and with a different control like this, just hit enter. And I'm actually going to use the building height, the maximum building height is 25. Value B in this case will be 16.5. And the roof pitch will be 60 degrees measured from the vertical angle, I mean the vertical plane. And then now instead of clicking on all sides, I just use this value here. And when I click OK, I can see that it's something of a shape like this. And this is what I wanted. And when you design a building volume with this tool, you actually continuously have a building information, building base area, volume, height, perimeter, surface area, and so on. So this is a great tool also for having a rough information about the building volumes that you have created here. So if you are an urban planner or something like that, this is a useful tool as well. So I'm just clicking OK. And then I have this building shape here. I actually would like to rotate that a little bit, like 90 degrees to this way. And I would like to create 3 more copies, like 3. And then I just copy this building over here. And then I will just quickly select these 2. And I will just move those back a little bit where they should be according to the site plan. And then I can just play around with these. I can rotate them. Well, I use the wrong size. Obviously on this drawing I can see it, so I can fix that. But now I'm happy with this result. So I'm focusing on a larger building part, because here comes an extra interesting thing, an interesting part that I would like to show you, that you can actually not just design a building shape as I did before. So let me just repeat this again. I'm just going to use this building shape, and intentionally I just leave this part out, because this is the new thing that I'm going to show you, is that once I have a building shape, this will be 28 meters tall, and click on update. And so once you have a building shape like that, then you can actually draw lines on this building shape, and you can use Pushpull to create new shapes. So let me show you a few examples to that. So let me just zoom into this building part. And actually now it seems like it's only a plane, but actually it has its own sides. But edges behind now are set to be not visible. Let's just go back to here and set up transparency for the edges as well. So now I'm going to go back here, and now I will use this surface of this building shape, building volume, to draw lines. Now first I just set the proper height, because it's not on the same level like this one. It will make my life easier if I just use the same value now. It's not necessary, but for me it will be easier to start from this line and draw a vertical line. And then when you start drafting, then you can click on the line tool, for example, and then you can select the surface, which in this case is the one facing towards me. And then instead of starting my line created here, I will just find this edge here, I mean this corner point here, and then I click once and I start drafting on this surface. And once I hit the proper height, I can also hold the shift key to lock the direction and then refer to this other corner point. So now I have one line here appearing, and then I can repeat the same thing around here. So let me just turn around and try to find this edge here. It should be some of the endpoints like that one. Click here, and again I will hold shift key on the keyboard to lock the vertical direction, and then I refer to this endpoint. So now I have something like this. And also I would like to create a nice entrance part here, so I will also create something like that. I start from this edge, from this edge point. I will go upwards. This time let's just use a real world value, like 6 meters or so. And then horizontally it should be around, I think double this would be fine. Let's just say this is 12 meters. And I'm just going down towards to the floor, and I just either close this like that, or I just use the value 6 meters. And then I will use these for Pushpull to modify the building shape, which was originally designed by building rules, but I can easily modify using the building masses and Pushpull Tool. So this is what I do now. I just click on this surface. As you can see, the software will recognize the partial surface because I already created an edge over that. And when I click there and I draw my mouse, I'm moving my mouse towards me to this direction, and then I can type a value like, let's say this is, for example, I don't know, like 5 meters. And then I'm clicking here onto this surface and I repeat that with a similar value. And let's just change the camera point. And then, well, something like this. This will be, again, it was, I think the previous one was 5 meter, but I could also refer to its corner point. And then I just use this entrance part that I've created here. So I click here and then I draw something like, I don't know, this should be only 3 meters or so. So now I have this building volume here, and I would like to, instead of just having a plain like glass surface here, which is kind of a pale representation of a real building here, I also would like to turn these into like realistic wall surfaces and so on, but I don't want to go into the details too much. So for this reason, I am able to use the masses tools, and there are several tools here for either creating walls on these floors or creating slabs, curtain walls, and curtain walls as a whole unit over the surfaces. Let's just start with the first one. I mean this the slabs. So if I click here and I click on this building volume and I hit enter, then the software auto generates slabs here. Again, these are customizable objects that I can either pick. Before I do that, I can either pick one of those items here, one of those tiles, or I can just customize them later on. Still, the building volume is also visible, so this could be also a nice visualization of the levels of the surrounding building. But I can go beyond that, and I can also generate for example, walls over all the floors. So if I click there, and then I click on this, sorry, I was in the command already, so I click here and I say create walls by floors, and then I select this building volume itself, then the software will generate walls as well. So into these walls I can place several doors and windows, and I can just right click on any of those, and I can say, okay, this one I would like to change into, I would like to turn into an opening into a full corner window or a new door or something like that. So I can do all kind of things like those. And I can also use the curtain wall tool, just as you might remember from previous tutorials, that you can fully convert curtain walls into I mean walls into curtain walls. So you can say that this one here and this one here and this one here should be a curtain wall, and all the rest will be designed individually. But it's a very quick tool and a very easy tool, very simple tool to generate building surfaces and building shapes. Also, if I would like to turn these into like glass installations with glass surfaces like curtain walls, then instead of drawing curtain walls around these, I can either also generate slabs inside those items, but now I prefer to have like large curtain wall surfaces with these shapes. And so for that reason I will just click on this tool, and I will click on any of those, like this one and the following one and the following one, so I can quickly turn them into customizable shapes that are actually turned into curtain wall shapes. So I can change the divisions, the thickness of the divisions, the materials, and so on. So I can just use whatever material type and visual artistic style I would like to have. And the same thing goes with the walls as well. So I would like to show you one specific option here. So if I go back and undo this last step and I turn this into something more classical like the previous one with classic slabs and classic walls, and I would like to highlight that the software will also create cut walls like here. So if I just add the slabs first, yep, and now the software generates all the slabs here inside this building, and then I go with the creating walls by floors tool, and I click on the same. Then the software will create those nice slanted cut surfaces, and I can also cover that with a slanted slab or roof or something like that, and then I can go on and change the shape of these buildings as well. So actually this is how it works. The great thing is that you can either go and start with the building mass based on a conceptual building model based on rules of the building shapes, or you can also use Pushpull and create building shapes like this, and later end up with a more complex building surrounding with plenty of details, but not with the need of modeling the interiors as well, only the exterior walls and glass surfaces and doors and windows. In ARCHLine.XP you can share complete categories instead of just single objects, and this has a very good advantage that actually whenever you place a new item in that category, that will also be automatically shared with the others. So let me show you how that works. Now I'm working in a completely different project than my colleague, but we talked over the phone, and I discussed with him that I would like to share a few of the things that I've downloaded from the 3D warehouse from the BIM libraries, and that I already organized into the bathroom library, and it's called the Balena series. That what I'm willing to do is to share the complete category. So I right click here and I click on share. Now the software publishes this over the server, which I already defined in the options. So I'm going to show you where to do that. You go to the settings and you go to the open and save. And actually here in between the settings of the creating network share, you will find an option that where you would like to share complete categories. That is the location where you place this this file that will be actually published. And once my colleague is also setting up the same library, and I publish this for objects inside that, he will automatically see that. So let's see what I've published there. So I go to the bathroom. Here you can see the Balena series, and then these are the things that I published to my colleague. So let's see what happens on my colleague's computer. Okay, so this is my colleague's computer. He's working on a bathroom project. He asked for the sanitary wares, and then we will place one of those here on his computer. So we will go to the objects library, and we should find a library item. I'm in a complete category under bathroom called Balena series. This is what I have shared. So when we click here, we can actually see the little plus icon. That means this is shared over the network. So when I click here, then I just select any of those items, like for example this one. I click and drag over the wall surface, and then I can save and place an object that was not originally downloaded from this on this computer, but on another computer. And now over a network share, it was published with the complete category, and then I could place it here and I can save the project with it. And from that point on, it will be part of this project. So even when this share will be withdrawn, as it was already placed, it's not a link, it's a copy of that object, so it will be stored. So I don't have to worry that I will lose it if it's accidentally erased from the shared library. Now let's see how this can be updated. So I will switch back to the previous computer, and I will just I will just add a few more items, and we will see what happens on this computer when I updated this category on the other computer. Okay, so adding new items to an already shared category is pretty simple. All I need to do is just to find those items in my library. And I think what I would like to share, those things are all in the toilets library. And here I scroll down and I would like to add this and this. I'm actually just holding the Control key on my keyboard. So I will just keep adding new items like that. And these things I would like to recategorize. I would like to sort them into another category. And then what I do, I just go to I just keep it in the bathroom category, but here I will select the one with the name of Balena series. And then I just hit OK. So now those items will disappear from this library, except the one that cannot be removed. And then I will just go back to the Balena series, like here. Now 2 items are added here, and then now I will go back to the other computer to see how it looks like after the update. So now here we go on the other computer, and then let's just check the objects library. And here we can find the bathroom, and there are 6 items shared in the body in the series with those 2 additional ones that I successfully shared over the network. So this is how easily you can share new things. You just share 1 or 2 categories, and then you just simply update the items. You can move things into those categories, and then they will be automatically published. Let me show you one another thing, how you can actually share multiple categories and how you can manage them. So for that, I will switch back to the original computer. So on this original computer, I will share other categories, and I will go into the project, and for example, still keeping in the bathroom category, I will share my cabinets using the same share option. See, it's very simple. It's actually automatic, and then now everything published to the server, and then whatever I put into this library will be automatically shared with my colleague. You can also see this tiny symbol here telling that everything in this category is shared. And also I will share things in the tabs library. For example, I click on share, and then now everything will be shared automatically. So now this is how easily you can share parts of your libraries, complete categories. And then there is one last thing that I wanted to show you, and actually that is how to manage those libraries. Except coming here and just keep trying to find all the categories that you have already published. You can find a centralized version. You can go to the options, and then you can find the open and save tab here, and you can just scroll down the same place where we actually managed the share library itself. This is the specified network location. This is it. And actually, just below that, you can find a button with the word edit, and you can go there and you can find all the libraries that you have shared. And if you would like to withdraw a share because it was actually accidental, or you don't want to publish it for any other reason any longer, then you can just click on that, and you can just click on remove, and then it will be removed. So from this point on, whatever you put into this library won't be shared, and the whole category is not shared. The default frequency is, as I remember, is 60 seconds. So sooner or later, at least over 60 seconds, any sort of change should be visible over the network. So this is how easily you can share any sort of complete category over the network. The following topic is about creating external plugins for ARCHLine, which is very exciting, I believe, because you can create external codes using a simple notepad and write even those simple or complex things that I will show you in the following minutes. Now, let me show you first 2 examples how what I would like to create today. One is the V8 scripts. Here I have created a new ribbon bar here with 2 commands, and one is the V8 scripts draw a circle, which actually creates a very simple circle. This is where I will start with. This is how I will show you how script runs like. And then I will show you a complex example for which I have created this model. And then in this model, I have actually a few columns with a very specific beam parameter, which is called red target. And then I have added that beam parameter only to these, but not these small ones. And then when I click here, you can see that it is not having that option. So this is how it will be found. The software will actually look for columns that, having this specific variable called red target. And then when it found it, it will draw a safety radius around them. And then this is how it runs like this. I'm just clicking here, and the software found all these items and then created a safety radius, and then I can see whether I need to remove these things from here, or I need to change them to something else, or if there is a door opening into this area, I need to change it opening to the other direction or something like that. So from this point on, I have an intelligent command finding only specific columns based on a condition. Okay, so let's see how that works. Now let's see the simple one first. Now how draw a circle looks like, how that works like. I actually have this open in my notepad, and in Notepad, if you use Notepad++, it will be also good because software will also kind of formatting it for easy read. and you can see that now this is what creates the circle here. Now I have this JavaScript running in the user folder, my user folder on this computer. It's in app data, roaming, CADline, and in the current version folder, support plugins. So this is where you need to create your your scripts that you would like to run in ARCHLine. I also will show you how you can build a ribbon bar like this, but this is actually where my function is. It's called very simply just function2. And function2 actually has a function inside that's called create a circle. And create circle needs a point, a 2D point, and a radius. It's very, very simple. So when I run it, it's actually happening here. When I run it, I define the center, which should be, I don't know, 0, 0. Let's say it's 0, 0. And it should be 1500. And I click create a circle. And so click create a circle will create a circle, an ARCHLine entity at 0, 0 with 1500 radius. So this is what happens when I actually click here. The software creates that circle, and when I click here, it's 1500 millimeters in the radius, and it is in the center of the origin, so that's 0, 0. So this is how a circle creation command looks like. And how do you get this knowledge? Where you can find all sorts of entities and what you can do with this engine? We actually have a web page for that, and that you can find at help.archline.xp.com. This is where you can find it. So help.archline.xp.com will lead you to this page, and then you can click here at ARCHLine JavaScript, here, the ARCHLine JavaScript API. So once you click here, you will end up with plenty of new pages with information about layers, observer, project, styles, and entities. Now this is what I'm interested in, because I told you that in ARCHLine, for example, you can create entities, and this is the article that tells you what sort of entities you can create in ARCHLine, or how you can create entities in ARCHLine. And here, if I scroll down, for example, I can find the one that I've used. It's the add circle, and it's very descriptively tells me that it's actually creating a circle with the center and the radius. So if I click here, I can see the details that this add circle, which ends up with an ARCHLine entity, which will be a circle, needs a center parameter, which is a 2D geometrical point in the 2D space, and also it needs a radius, which can be added as an integer. This is how you can define it. So this is how the add circle works like. And then similar to this, you can find all sorts of other references in this document, and also you will be able to find sample codes as well. But today our sample code is actually here in front of us, so let's just go back to this JavaScript. So here we can find, this is how the simple circle was created. And then now let me show you how this ribbon was created. So if I go here at main.js, this is what creates this whole thing and runs the commands when I click here. So let me show you again how this works. Now main.js actually creates in a ribbon bar, it creates a new page, and that's called V8 scripts. That's why you can see this here. And then it creates a new page group called circles, and it's this one. And then it creates two commands. One is for draw safety radius. I will describe this later. And then it creates another. It's called draw a circle. And then when you click on draw a circle, it will run a command that is in the function2.js. That's actually what we talked about. So function2.js creates the circle, the simple circle at the given location. So now, and also it uses a PNG file, which is actually just a circle, and the other one that with the safety radius has a different file, a different icon file. It's called red circle, and it's actually a red circle. So let's see how the other one works, how the function.js works. Now again, let me show you what that does. It actually looks for specific objects on this drawing, and when it found them, it will draw a safety circle around them. Okay, let's just undo that again. So let me go back to this function.js, and now let's see how it works from the beginning. Now first it has a function. It's called find all columns. Now it's very simple. It is just looking for in the active project. It looks for entities, and what entities are actually column types, where if I would I don't know, type here like slab or wall, then it would look for walls and slabs. So, but now this is a specific command for finding all the columns. So this is what it does. It just enumerates all the items, and when it finds columns, then it just collects them in a list. And then when it collected those items in that list, it will also do this find property. It's actually running here at the bottom. I will show you this how it works, but first let me show you what the find property does. Find property will actually go through all the items that I have found, and then it will just look for a specific property that I define later in this code. Okay, so let me show you how that works. If I go here, this is the do demo code. This is what actually happens when I click in draw safety radius. So first, it will run find all columns. When it found all the columns, it will go and find the property in all columns that are called red target. And when it found those, it will activate a style, circle style, which is called 3 meter security distance. I have actually prepared that in advance in the drafting circle tools. And then actually it will just say that, okay, if you found those, then just draw a circle in the middle, in the center of this column with a radius of 1500. So this is how it works. And then it just goes around and around and around until it is out of those items, out of those columns that are having this red target identifier here. So when I click here, this is what happens. And again, if I just undo this and I modify the drawing, because I just would like to go here and just erase this parameter here. I don't want this to be found. It's very simple. I just remove that, and when I run this code again, then it won't find that. So it is a very easy, simple example about condition-driven selection and entity creation. In this case, it was an entity of a circle. And based on this, these very simple principles that I show you today, you can build even bigger codes, even more complex code. For example, finding fire escape routes and so on. So this is what you can use this practically for. And let me show you one another example, which is actually in ARCHLine. It is a built-in shipped with the software. It is a built-in JavaScript code, and that you can find in the file, and it is called BIM and add BIM parameters. This whole thing that I'm using now on this and this and this item, this here, it was all written in JavaScript, and this JavaScript actually creates a new parameter, adds a new parameter, and modifies the item's BIM database. So for example, in this case, this is how I added something called an acoustic group and acoustic performance, which is an integer with a value of 20. So this is also something that was created in JavaScript. So I hope this is a very easy to understand and insightful information for those of you who would like to create plugins for ARCHLine.XP.
Thank you very much. This was a very insightful show about the 4 new things. For those of you who are latecomers, the things that Ilés talked about was the new push-pull feature, with which you can easily sketch surrounding buildings as well. And we also discussed how to turn the surrounding buildings into actual building parts. Once Ilés talked about the shared categories, he discussed the JavaScript plugin, which is just the thing that external developers will be looking for. So let's go over to the questions. There's one question here. How can the push-pull be used on columns and beams? Now, hopefully this will be useful for columns and beams. The aim is to extend the push-pull functionality onto as many architectural items and types as possible by the official release date. Now, next question is, when is the official release date? It's going to be in March 2021. So that is when the new version would be available for the public. Until then, we are grateful to receive any kind of feedback on the things that we are just showing you. So, but this is not actually the end of the story, because we are going to have another show, and that would come on December the 2nd, and that will be the fourth part of the presentation series on the ARCHLine.XP 2021 function highlights. And just a preview on what we are going to discuss, we are going to look at how to create schedules with images. There are a bunch of new tools coming for roof editing, for example, fascia, soffit board, freeze board, and other nice, exciting things. We are going to learn how to update styles by the instances, and we take another look at the new and upcoming knowledge base, which is our new online-based help/tutorial/manual platform. I'm not showing this to you right now because I want you to have something that you are going to be waiting for, but next time I'm going to show you the website and we'll show you how to get information from that. I'm just looking at the questions to see if there's anything else. When the beta version will be available, the parties who are going to test the beta version will be notified shortly, and then they can get their hands on the beta version, and then we'll be using that feedback to make ARCHLine an even better application. So just to recap, on December the 2nd, we are going to have the final part of the feature highlight series. If you missed any of the shows in this series, I suggest you go to the website ARCHLineXP.com/webinars, and there you can see all the things you have missed. And should you have any questions, you can still let me know in the comments. And if you like this show, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you're not going to miss any of the similar shows in the future. For now, me and Nilesh are thanking you for your attention, and see you next time, which is the 2nd of December. Don't forget. Bye-bye.